The head of the main directorate of intelligence, Kirill Budanov, admits that there is a threat of an explosion or an accident at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant because the occupiers additionally mined the cooler. According to him, firstly, by destroying the dam of Kakhovska HPP, the Russians destroyed the normal access of water to the coolers operating at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. And secondly, during the time that the Zaporizhzhia NPP was in the hands of the occupiers, it was additionally mined. In particular, the cooler was mined again. So we expect destruction in Ukraine, as in the south, as in the east. And I have an economical question. How can Ukraine recover the burned land? I mean, what do you think about that? Well, first of all, let's split this question into two parts. Do you personally believe, as a person, not just as a PhD in economics, do you believe this is going to happen? There is a possibility that Russians can really going nuclear, because this is what is going to happen if they're going to blast the MPP just as they did with Kakhovka Dam. And the second question, what are we doing with this burnt land stand? So because there will be hundreds of kilometers of burnt ground, of ground zero. It's a disaster, the planetary disaster.
Absolutely, it will be a big disaster. Actually, even when we talk about Novokakhovka, we should take into account that according to estimations, preliminary, but nevertheless 10,000 hectares of agricultural land were underwater.
Ruined, yeah.
Ruined, actually. I remember I have a big air in one Arabic channel, and we discussed the influence of explosion of Kakhovka Dam on the global food security.
Okay.
Because in Dubai, where this Shark TV channel is situated, they said that we have in Middle East fear that it influences on the global food security, where Kakhovka, where Dubai, nevertheless.
Well, they have fears. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So the Ukraine gives food to a lot of countries.
27% growth of prices for wheat. Grain index of the World Bank increased in May compared to January 2022 right. Under pressure of Ukrainian war. So, of course, after the explosion in Kakhovka Dam, I absolutely agree with Israel expert Auslander, who said that, that after that explosion, I really believe that Russia can explode it at Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station.
Do you believe this is going to happen, personally?
Personally, no. I still not believe, and I explain why. Because, first of all, as several deputies from United States of America, from UK, they directly say to Russia that if you exploded Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station, it will be the 5th article of NATO. We will think that it's a menace to whole NATO, and we used
the act of direct aggression.
Yes, it will be direct aggression, and we used our military power against you, because it will be really menace. And another moment, especially when Russia started playing with the nuclear power weapon in Belarus, I remember the negative reaction of China. And after that statement that they give a nuclear weapon to Belarus, Chinese ambassador in EU said a phrase that our words about big friendship with Russia, it's only words without any activity.
But this is always the case with China.
Yes.
And they're very strict about that. We have interests of China in the first place. That's it.
Yes.
But going nuclear is a totally different story. But what is going now? I mean, the whole world should be very serious about, even if Russia don't do it, there is a possibility that they will.
Absolutely.
And we should take it as seriously as possible. We should stop it now. How? Do you have any idea how can we stop this nuclear blackmailing, for example?
The best version, they occupied it, actually. I understand that now it looks very probably unserious, but who knows? Because every time when we seriously talk about the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station, I return to March 2022 and the situation when Russia controlled Chernobyl nuclear power station. How many talks was, something could happen there, that Russia can explode it, and so on and so forth. But Russia leave it without any activities. That's why I think that we should work, global community, not only Ukraine, with China, with India, with other big countries who can press on Russia and say, guys, if Ukraine will start releasing territory near Energodar, near Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station. We can help you to guarantee that your soldiers leave it and will be not murdered there, but instead of that, don't do something here, do not explode it. I think that it's the only way how we can guarantee. Yes, probably now it looks like entail, but when Russia stayed in Chernobyl, this fear exists for months or so, even more. They occupy Chernobyl nuclear power station on the first day.
I read you. What I'm trying to, the idea that I'm trying to deliver, as we have to, I believe so. I'm not a military guy, but I believe so that we have to take the option they will do something wrong, even not intentionally, as a very serious example. I mean, okay, they didn't do anything at the Chernobyl power plant, but this is Ukraine, this is Ukrainian land, and you are now proposing, like, let's talk it over with Russia. What is the sense to talk it over? We have to make them leave. Do we have any international leverage, including the international organization? I mean, take a look at the Mr. Grossi. He says, I know that there are mines there, but this is only for security reasons. The security reason having mines on a nuclear power plant?
Oh, it's a problem of, as for me, it's a global problem when the world was not ready for war of such scale, let's be frank. And that's why we have problem with sanctions, we have problem with existing of the sanction. Now there will be 11th package of sanctions where we, according to rumors, there will be moments that decrease option how to actually go against those sanctions. I mean that thinking alternative ways. But guys, when you make sanction, you should do this immediately ways that will not help to actually do something bypass those sanctions.
Just to circumventing the sanctions.
Yes, but now in 11 package, we only say about that. That's why it's a problem. But as I said, global community was not ready to react. Now, I think that it's a good lesson that I wish to be influenced on the future. And after Ukrainian war, we change this whole world, the rules of that war, and create such mechanism. Now, I think that the only way, it's, as I said, deoccupation, and why we need China and India as two biggest country in the world. Now India bigger than China, and starting from this year, according to
in terms of economy,
yes,
well, they're too.
But economy, yes, China is bigger. Nevertheless, that they explain to Russia that in case of any explosion on the nuclear power stations that influence all over the world, at least in this area, they could be not so friendly to Russia.
Okay, I take that as an answer. Thank you for your detailed answer.
Thanks.
The main asset is people, always. Around 2.5 million before the war and around 7 million forced refugees during the war. What is to be done to return people to Ukraine? Not only from Europe, but also from the deep, remote western regions of Ukraine. What I mean is that as experts in economics, what would you suggest to bring, the people from deep western regions to the center, or maybe to make life better over there?
When we talk about refugees, not only Ukrainian, but all over the world, we understand that European problem, a lot of refugees from Middle East. Yes?
Okay, yes.
The best solution of this problem, I heard approximately 5 years ago from the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, who said that let's make new Europe in the Middle East. What do I hear in these words? That let's make life in Middle East the same as in Europe. And people will not think how to leave Middle East and go to Europe. Will think how to stay in Middle East and realize themselves there. The same situation in Ukraine. So one of the target of this rebuilding of Ukraine is just to create a vision of perspective of this area. So that people who leave Ukraine under the pressure of war will think that for them it will be for better if they return. Second moment, of course, it's not popular. That after the end of war, the support of Ukrainian refugees in European Union and other countries will decrease or even stopped. Because they said that, guys, war is stopped, we could not support you. If you want to have normal life, return to your own country. There you can find some job. And for option to find job in Ukraine, of course, they need to help to us. And if these job places will be created with help of our partners, the problem of refugees for them disappear, because Ukrainian refugees understand that if they need to work, if they want to find the workplaces, for them it's better to do that in their own land. So it's one more argument to help the Ukraine to recover from this problem, just to create a prospects inside.
Ukraine. Here,
Yes,
home.
yes, home.
Absolutely, I agree with you.